All right, my friends, before you look at this, I hope that you're giving this test a try. If you start just by copying or just watching, then you're not going to learn much. So I hope you do this first before you check. Anyways, let's do part A here first. It says 5x plus 10y, 5x plus 10y is less than or equal to 25. I need to get that y by itself. I want to do y equals mx plus b format. So subtract 5x from both sides, 10y less than or equal to negative 5x plus 25. Divide everything by 10. I want the y by itself. So y is less than or equal to, this would be negative a half x. I could write it as x over 2 if I wanted to. And this would be 2.5. Okay, so that's, I'm ready to put that on the first grid, but I figure I might as well just do B first, just because I feel like it. Negative 2y greater than 10 minus 5x. I'm going to divide everything by negative 2, so that means the inequality is going to flip. So y is less than 10 over negative 2 is negative 5. Negative 5 over 2 is positive 2.5x. I'm going to flip those around just because I want to. 2.5x minus 5. All right, so we have our two lines. One is a solid line, one is a dotted line. I hope I remember this when it comes time to draw it. There's lots of space here for work. Anyways, okay, so negative 1/2 x plus 2.5. 2.5 would be the intercept. That's what I'm looking for. Sorry. Okay, and the slope is negative a half, which means it's going to go in this direction, and it's 1 over 2. That's kind of unfortunate. We have not a whole number here, but whatever. It's not the end of the world. So 1 over 2, 1 over 2. So it's not going to be super great. It's not going to go right on the nice spot there, which is fine. Doesn't really matter. Use ruler. I'm tired. Can you hear it in my voice? Woke up at 5. Thought, oh, can't go to sleep. Might as well go to work. It's a solid line. Let's make sure we label everything here. This is A and this is B. Solid line. Now it's less than or equal to. So less than. You can try a spot if you want. Try 0, 0. 0 plus 0 is less than 25. Oops. 0 plus 0 is less than 25. So it works. We shaded the right side. Now for B, negative 5 is the y-intercept. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a broken line. I have to remind myself. Slope is 2.5. So a rise of, basically a rise of 5. This equals 5 over 2, which is rise over run. So I'll go up 5 and I'll go over 2. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So it's pretty steep. That's okay. Doesn't matter. Make my connections. Oh, it's a broken line. You have pencils. I was thinking about doing this with pencil. Would it show? Yeah. Maybe I should do the rest of it with pencil so I don't make stupid mistakes like that. Anyways, this is y is less than, so you can shade this side of it. Cool, cool, cool. And you can still try the 0. It shouldn't work because that's not what's shaded. So let's try it with 0, 0. 0 is greater than 10 minus 0. 0 greater than 10? No, it's not. Good. We didn't shade that side. All right. I'm going to pause this while I sharpen this pencil because that's what I'm going to do. All right, second page. Now we've got 3 different ones to do here. I'm going to just call them like I, and I, just to kind of keep them separate. So sketch the following system. System means more than one. So these 3 are all going on the same graph. clearly identify the solution area, clearly label everything, and show that you've used a test point that verifies your solution. All right, so let's start with this bad boy. So we have, so for I, we've got 2x minus 6 is less than 0. I'm going to add 6 to both sides. 2x is less than 6, divide both sides by 2. X is less than 3. Okay, so that's what I'm going to put in here. X is less than 3. 1, 2, 3, and it's a inequality, like it doesn't have, it's not an or equal to. So it's going to be a broken line. I remember now, even though I have pencil. And it's going to be less than, so it's going to shade this side, but I'm going to shaving. I'm going to save my shading until the end, so that, because I don't know what kind of mess it's going to be, so I just want to make sure. But I know it will be this side. I can draw little reminders for myself if I want. I'm going to shade that side. I'm also want to label this. This is 2x minus 6 less than 0. That belongs to that one. That's labeling everything. Okay. Label the axes, labeled my line, move on. Part 2. 0 is less than 4y plus 8 plus 2x. Well, I want to get y by itself, and I also want to get it completely by itself. So like I need to move these two things over, but I also need to divide everything by 4. It doesn't matter which one you do first. I'm going to divide by 4 first. So 0 is less than y plus 2 plus, this would be 0.5. So you can write it as a decimal, or if you're cool like me, as a fraction. Now I'm going to subtract these two bad boys. So it's going to be negative 1/2 x minus 2 is less than y. Now, if you want to write it so that y is on the other side, that's fine. Just make sure you keep the right orientation here. Y is greater than all this. Y is greater than negative 1/2 x minus 2. Okay, so negative 2 is my y-intercept. I'm going to mark that off. Still, it's a broken line, so I got to remember not to draw a solid line. So you have a negative slope, so it's going to go like this. And it's 1/2. Rise of 1, run of 2. Rise of 1, run of 2. Now, notice I stopped. I don't know if you can notice, if you can see that mark I made there, but I just kind of tapped the page right here. Went rise of run of 2. That's enough for me to draw my line. I just like identifying clearly where the intercepts are. And also the further away you get, the more accurate it'll be. So anyways, broken line, right? Yeah, broken line. This one is 0 is less than 4y plus 8 plus 2x. Now, once we've, our kind of solved version says y is greater than, so that means we're going to shade that side, the up side, the top side. So notice we got shading over here, shading over here. I haven't shaded yet just because I want to keep it clean, like I said. Okay, so part 3 is 3x greater than or equal to 3y minus 6. We have a equal to it, so this is a solid line. I'm going to divide everything by 3 because I want that y by itself. X greater than or equal to y minus 6. Going to add 6 to both sides. X plus 6 greater than or equal to y. Flip these around if you want. Just make sure you keep that orientation. Y is less than or equal to x plus 6. 6 is the y-intercept. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's a slope of 1. This is kind of also why I do these things. Normally, I would, if this was your test, I would do this on my own. I wouldn't take all this time. And just make sure everything works. I can tell right away this is going to be irritating as far as the shading goes, but whatever, is what it is. Okay, so it's the slope of 1. So it's like boom, 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 pow, boom, boom. Anyway, here we're going with this. So it's a solid line. It irritates me that it doesn't intersect. this bad boy. This is originally 3x greater than or equal to 3y minus 6, 3y minus 6. We can lengthen this a little bit. See, look, watch. It's an eraser. It's pencil. It's way better than me making my mistakes with pen. I can fix it. Look at that. Now it's clear. I'm assuming the solid one is going to be less than. Y is less than x plus 6. Good. So it's this triangle in the middle. This is your solution area. Okay. Show you've used the test point. So clearly identify the solution area. I think that's pretty clear. There's nothing else competing with it. There's no other line. See, that's why I didn't shade and then shade and then shade. It just makes it cleaner. If you want to, you can, but then you're going to really have to do a good job in there. Clearly label everything. I think we've done that. And show that you've used a test point. So I'll do that at the bottom here. Put this all on camera. So test point 0, 0. I'm going to use the origin because that will be the easiest, right? So for I, it was 2x minus 6 less than 0. Put in the zeros. 2 times 0 minus 6 less than 0. True. Negative 6 is less than 0. Cha-ching. Let's go to the second equation, which is 0 less than 4y plus 8 plus 2x. 0 less than 4 times 0 plus 8 plus 2 times 0. 0 is less than 8. That works out. Last one. Pop, 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 pop. 3x greater than or equal to 3y minus 6. Put in the zeros. 3 times 0 greater than or equal to 3 times 0 minus 6, which means 0 is greater than or equal to negative 6. Works out. Cool, cool, cool. That's what the pause is for. Pause button. Pause is bore. You can also ask questions about this if something doesn't make sense. Okay, sketch following system. System means it's going to be more than one. So I'm probably going to put both of these bad boys here. I say it like I wasn't the one that made the test. Clearly identify the solution area and then show a test point. Okay, so the trick is why are we doing this again? Because we got a quadratic. Because we got an x squared. So the single I, 0 less than 6x minus 2y. I'm going to move the 2y over. See how it's negative? I'm going to move it over because that way it'll become positive instead of moving the 6 and then flipping signs and stuff. So it's going to be 2y less than 6x. I don't need to flip the inequality because I'm not multiplying or dividing by a negative. I'm just adding and subtracting. Divide both sides by 2. Y is less than 3x. There is my first one. So the y-intercept, there's nothing there. So it goes through here. And the slope is 3, it's positive. Oops, sorry. The slope is 3, it's positive, so it's going to rise to the right. Rise of 1, 2, 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3 over 1. It's pretty steep, which is okay. Let's label stuff. Oh, is this a dotted line? Yes. Oof, I checked. I'm amazing. Now it looks like Morse code. Morse code. This is 0 less than 6x minus 2y. Label, label, label. Now the second one, do I have enough room right here? Let's try it. We've got negative 4y plus 12 greater than or equal to negative 8x squared plus 4. With all this confusion, if you will, I'm going to leave the y on that side. Even though it's negative, I'm just going to leave it over here. So I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides to start. Negative 4y greater than or equal to negative 8x squared. 4 minus 12 is going to be negative 8. Divide both sides by negative 4, which means the inequality flips. Y is less than or equal to 2x squared plus 2. I didn't realize it was crooked. 2 is our, 2 is our y-intercept, but this is a quadratic formula. We could, if you wanted to, we could figure out the the vertex and stuff, but we don't need to. There's different ways of doing this. So I'm just gonna pick a couple points. I'm just gonna do it the old school way, because I think most people prefer this. So when x is 0, y is 2. That's how we know that it's the y-intercept. So it's going to go x is 0, y is 2. This is going to be a solid line too. Okay, so when x is 0, y is 2. When x is 1, y is 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can kind of see when x is 1. I think I made this question wrong. Whatever, it is what it is. Let's do -1. -1 squared is 1, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4. So at -1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Curious what the shading is going to look like on this bad boy. That's 4. And let's just do one more. Let's do 2. It'll probably be off the map, but at least it'll give us an idea. So when x is 2, 2 squared is 4, 2 times 4 is 8, 8 plus 2 is 10. It's off the map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's somewhere up there. I can just kind of use it as a general reference. Smooth curve through this. Not the best. See, because I have an eraser, I'm going to fix this. I get away with saying, oh, if I had an eraser. Okay, now notice, we might not have any overlap here. I thought I did this one. Did I make a mistake? -8. Positive, yeah. I think what I meant to do is I meant to make this negative. But here, this will be a good learning lesson. So, or will it? First of all, this is y is less than, so it's over here. And then this is y is less than. Yeah, I see what I want. So it's everything like here. So this is, it's got lots of overlap. This is the solution space, basically. Everything that qualifies for our first equation qualifies. This is ugly and totally possible. You can totally get this on a test. It could also be possible, for what it's worth, that this dotted line, it could be shade this side, and then for the parabola, y is greater than or equal to. If there's no overlap like that, that would mean no solutions. Be prepared for that. You might get a test question like that. So anyways, this is our solution area. And then we can test it. We can't test it with the 0 here because it's this is not a solid line going through it. So let's do the next best thing. Let's do 1 and 0. Test point. When x is 1 and y is 0. So let's test it with our first one, which was 0 is less than 6x minus 2y. When x is 1, so it's going to be 6 times 1 minus 2 times 0. So basically 6 is greater than 0. That works. I could write it out. 0 is greater or is less than 6. So that makes sense. For the second one, make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. The original was -4y plus 12 greater than or equal to -8x squared plus 4. The y's are 0, the x's are 1. So this is -4 times 0 plus 12 greater than or equal to -8 times 1 squared plus 4. Let's simplify. So that's 0 plus 12, which is 12, greater than or equal to -8 plus 4 is -4. 12 is greater than or equal to -4, so it works out. It's positive. This bugs me. It's not what I meant for it to be, but whatever. It still works. Still math. And math is great. That's what most of my emails say. Hey, Mr. Morris, just letting you know. I thought about it, and math is great. I had one student who used to always say to me, math sucks. No offense. Okay, number 4, solve and graph following on a number line. Let's start with A. 2x squared plus 3x minus 2 is less than 0. I'm going to factor this bad boy. Should not write so big. I'm writing big for the benefit of the camera, but you guys need to, I need to be able to fit it all on the page. I don't need to be like Ada here. All right, 2x x. Signs are going to be different. It's a 2 and a 1. Looks like it's a +2 and a -1. I'm just going to double check this. 2x, x squared, 4x, and negative x is 3x, -2. Yes. All right. So our 2 points are x equals 1/2 and x equals -2. Number line does not need to be so massive. 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3. It's a less than, it's not an equal to, so the circles are hollow at a half and a -2. So we have to decide, is it shaded in between or on the outside? Test point of 0 sure makes it easy. If x is 0, 0 plus 0 minus 2, -2 is less than 0. It works. So there you go. X is between but not including. So -2 is less than x, which is less than, yeah, it's +1/2. Cool, cool, cool. Second one, B says -3x squared minus x less than or equal to -2. Well, let's bring everything to the right side because of this negative here. So 0 less than or equal to 3x squared plus x minus 2. Factor this. 3x and x. I have a strong feeling the 2 is going to be over here. This is 1, and this is plus and a negative, and then check. So that's 3 minus 2 is +1 and -2. It works. So here we've got x equals 2/3 and x equals -1. See how I do that? Oopsie. Make sure it's showing. See how I do that? I treat it like 3x minus 2. What I'm doing in my brains is 3x minus 2 equals 0. Add 2 to both sides. 3x equals 2. Divide both sides by 3. X equals 2/3. So now we do our line. Bump, bump, bump. 0, 1, 2, -1, -2. At -1, and this is an equality, so it gets shaded in. And 2/3, kind of divide it roughly into thirds. As long as it's not clearly a half or clearly like less than a half or something, don't sweat it. People have asked me, does it have to be perfect? Well, no, because it doesn't. And again, let's test point to 0 into the original. 0 minus 0, is that less than -2? No, it ain't. 0 is greater than -2, which means we shade this side. And we put an arrow there to show that it goes forever. So anything less than or equal to -1 works. Anything greater than 2/3 or equal to 2/3 works. So x is greater than or equal to 2/3, comma, x is less than or equal to -1. Bum, 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 bum. Last one. Oh, look, the word problem. We all love word problems. Such a weird job. I'm talking to myself into a screen. A square fabric measures 20 centimeters long and 20 centimeters wide. Well, let's draw that. So it's 20 by 20, which means the area would be 400. Weasley West wants to remove the same amount of fabric from each dimension to make a piece of fabric less than a quarter of the original. So wants to take X amount off of the length and X amount off of the width so that it's less than a quarter of the original. Okay, so let's look at it this way. So 20 minus X times 20 minus X. We want this to be less than, doesn't say less than or equal to, just less than a quarter of the original. So less than a quarter of this. So I'm gonna write it out, a quarter of 400, which is 100. So let's do some simplifying. 20 times 20 is 400. 20 times negative x is negative 20x. Negative x times 20 is negative 20x. Negative x times negative x is positive x squared, which is less than 100. I'm going to reorient my left side here. So x squared minus 40x plus 400 is less than 100. I'm going to subtract 100 from both sides. X squared minus 40x plus 300 is less than 0. So now we have to do some factoring. X, these are both going to be negative. Two numbers that multiply to 300 and add up to 40 because they're both negative. So 10 and 30. Oh, there you go. So I got lucky. Negative 10, negative 30. Just double check. X times x is x squared. X times negative 30 is negative 30x. And negative 10x is negative 40x. Okay, so x equals 10 or x equals 30. Now this is one of those situations where you have to reject an extraneous root. Can we take 30 off of 20? No. But we can take 10 off of 20. Now, the way this works, so you can kind of try it out. If we take 10 off of 20, so your area is now going to be 10 times 10, which equals 100. We need it to be less than 100. So that means that x is greater than 10 centimeters. The amount that you have to take off is greater than 10 centimeters. How much is he taking off from each dimension? 10. 10 off the length, 10 off the width. And I know the textbook, like I guess it would have had it as 5, like 5 from each side. If you want to do that, that's fine. Just be clear, please, in what it is you're saying. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Took about, I think, 25 minutes. Well, I guess the video itself will speak for that once I stop recording. But if you have any questions, my friends, let me know. Will the test be very similar to this? Yes, it will.